Get up! Ugh, I feel like crap.
Okay, so it looks like E3 is finally starting to kind of wind down, and this was our last conference of any sort. It wasn't really a full-fledged conference, obviously. It was just kind of a little minor thing that Nintendo was hosting for the 3DS because apparently they had so much to show us. Even though yesterday I feel like they really didn't show that much to us. It was more of just kind of regurgitating things we already knew. But that's a rant for another day, and we already made a video on that. So getting to the 3DS, are they going to change this? Are they going to show us something new? And unfortunately, the answer is no. It's not. They did the same thing that they did in the Nintendo press conference. They kind of just showed us what we already knew and what we already expected. I don't understand the logic behind this. I guess just playing it safe, and you want to release this stuff at a later date when you have better control of how it's handled in the press, and you want it to be the only thing that people are talking about. I guess I understand that in some aspects, but it's kind of disappointing to the rest of us who come here, hopefully, trying to see something, and you don't show us anything. Anyways, though, even though it's stuff that we've kind of already seen before, it looks good at least. At least it's not terrible games. I mean, the first thing they showed was Castlevania, Lords of Shadow, Mirror of Fate. That's a title that just rolls right off the tongue. I mean, they always make their titles so long. But, similar to other games, Castlevania games, this looks like it's going to be a solid platformer. There's definitely some finer nuances to the combat. It looks like they showed a quick demo, talking about secondary weapons, building up your magic gauge, time blocks, counters, and stuff like that, along with your classic, Castlevania platform. So that definitely looks like it's going to shape up to be a game that any Castlevania fan will enjoy, which is nice. I mean, I'm personally not that invested in the series, but it's always good to see, a strong series continue to do well. The next thing they showed was Luigi's Mansion. It was so quick, though. I mean, again, nothing new. This was literally just the demo. We've already seen it. Not even worth talking about it. They showed Epic Mickey, Power of Illusion, and this game looks like it has some promise. I mean, it looks like a pretty solid platformer. Mechanics from the original Epic Mickey that was on the Wii will be employed here, but, kind of in 2D fashion. The only thing that was a little bit troubling was it seemed like the lore was a little messed up. I'm not Disney buff, and I'm not going to say that I am, so I'm not going to pretend to know. But we were chatting, the Pixelbit staff while we were watching the conference, and it brought to my attention that Mizrabel, the main enemy in this game, that's not who should actually be the character which they're referencing from the Castle of Illusion, which this game is based off of. So I don't know. That seems a little bit troubling. That if they're not following the lore and we're supposed to inspire the game, it's a little off-putting. But nevertheless, I think this game should still do fairly well, and it looks like it should be fun, even if it's a little bit disoriented when it comes to the lore. So finally, we get into like the meat and potatoes of this, if you will, and we take a look at new Paper Mario Sticker Star. And this game looks really interesting. I mean, I was pretty happy that they actually showed this. Probably the one thing that I was glad that I saw, because I learned a few things about this game that I didn't already know. We already know that they've already shown that the stickers are kind of going to be a resource in this game. They're going to be used for everything, either unlocking new things within the world, used for combat both offensively and defensively. But they just kind of showed how you went about obtaining these stickers. Kind of, really it's pushed on exploration. I mean, this game's all about looking through the world, kind of seeing what's around, using, some ingenuity to try to find things that wouldn't necessarily be there, try to unlock some secrets. And I really like a game that kind of pushes you to explore and pushes you to kind of look around instead of just, tunnel vision, go towards your destination. And this game is all about the journey. It's all about exploring and just kind of looking. And on top of that, one of the things that they announced was that, kind of the old experience system that we're used to in most RPGs, or in this RPG, for instance, is going to be thrown out the window. Instead, leveling up is going to be much more about interacting with the environment around you. So, like, helping others will produce, more HP or something like that. So, I mean, it's just all kind of tied into looking around, exploring, trying new things. And, I just think that's going to make for a fun title, and it's definitely one of the things that I think is going to do amazingly well on the 3DS. They showed a bunch of stuff in between, but honestly, they were just little glimpses. It's nothing new, and I really don't want to waste your time just reading over. They showed this again. They showed that again. They didn't show anything else that we really haven't seen. The thing that we did get to kind of take a little deeper look at was New Super Mario Bros. 2, and this game looks great. This game looks great as well. They always do these kind of games great. Paper Mario was great, and New Super Mario Bros. 2 looks great as well. One of the things that was really interesting about this was they have this new mode called Coin Rush, and it's kind of going to be a competitive mode for people to kind of compete with their friends and try to collect as much coins as possible. Kind of tying into that, they actually have like a new golden flower power-up, which will allow you to turn everything into cash, which ties in nicely with that. And even though this is a small addition to the game, I think it brings, some replayability to the game without kind of trying to change the game to fit into that. It works very nicely within that world. I mean, it gives you a reason to really try to master these levels, to go back and play them again, because you're going to do that anyways if you own the game, but now you kind of have something to strive for, which is always nice to have a little end goal when doing something like that. So I'm pretty excited for this game as well. They're going to have multiplayer in there. I have never really tried this with the Mario games. I must admit that I never played the most recent title on the Wii, the new Super Mario Bros. Wii. And I don't know though, when I saw the multiplayer and the whole, if you get too far behind, you get trapped in a bubble, it doesn't seem to be an enjoyable experience to me. At least it seems like it's going to cause a lot of frustration between the people playing. But they are offering that again if you are interested in it. So, until I've actually tried it, I really can't pass a judgment on it. But it is back again, and so there'll be two different forms of ways for you to kind of play and interact with your friends. One will be the coin burst mode, and the other is going to be the multiplayer, which is actually going to work through online as well. So that's pretty nice. Honestly, there really wasn't anything else, and this just kind of fitting into this E3 where I think nobody's really taking that many risks. I think a lot of people are withholding things, honestly, if you were to ask me. But, we definitely did get a handful of good games, and we actually have a bunch of interesting previews coming your way. So we're going to go ahead and share that with you.
Hey everyone, like I said, we have tons of previews up on Pixelbit, and we're going to be adding them constantly throughout the rest of the week. We have a bunch of smaller titles such as Unfinished Swan and PID, but we also have some of the major titles such as South Park: The Stick of Truth, FIFA Soccer 13, Devil May Cry, Castlevania, Lord of Shadow, Mirror of Fate, again rolls right off the tongue, Resident Evil 6, Lego City Undercover, and what's shaping up to be one of my favorites, Beyond Two Souls. So definitely go ahead and check out the previews. I'll have all those listed below, and make sure to kind of check up with Pixelbit because we're going to be updating them again, like I said, all throughout the week. Alrighty guys, I think that's going to do it for us today. It's been an E3 that's been had its highs, had its lows. We've seen some great games, we've seen some not so great games, but I think there's definitely some gems to take out of here, and we're going to make sure to cover them as much as we can in the future. Also, like I said, if you're sick of hearing my voice or sick of hearing my opinions, please make sure to check out our nightly podcast as well to hear what the rest of the crew is thinking. Alrighty guys, I'll catch you in the next episode. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah, well, they sold us down, our face, no matter, river so tough and time fatigue.